So, what is Lindy Hop? You might have friends who do jive. Your granddad might try and jive with you at the wedding. You might know live rock. You might have done modern jive somewhere. Take that back to his roots. That's Lindy Hop. So we've got Crazy Legs. We've got the 40s films, and it all started with Charleston. And this is a very actually boring-looking slide, and it's just telling you to do this. But what you can do is start putting a kick in it. You can start going a bit mad, you can start wiggling your fingers, you can start kicking, and suddenly you've got a lot of crazy things. You've got the flappers. And the flappers came out in the 1920s, and they bobbed their hair. They were standing outside of barber shops begging to have their hair cut off. They were drinking, they were enjoying jazz, they were showing their ankles, their knees even more. I'm not going to. And it was just really the first female rebellion. And so then we've got this thing happens in the 30s, a Savoy ballroom and many other ballrooms around America starts doing this other thing. And they're starting to dance in big groups. And this chap here, Shorty George, he took the Charleston and instead of holding close, he broke out. So that's a breakout on the top right. And he starts jumping around, and this woman, Big B, lifts him off his back because he's so short. And this other chap here, he's called Frankie Manning, and he thought this was brilliant, but he decided to play with it. He starts throwing the women round instead. Or this other chap called Alan Minns reckoned he did it first, but anyhow. So him and a load of other people who were really good in this Savoy ballroom, they got together and formed Whitey's Lindy Hoppers. That's this lot. And they went into all sorts of different films. They were touring the country, dancing this dance, which is a bit like the flash dances of show-offs earlier in time, but mixed with this swing Lindy Hop thing. And it just exploded. It went into films. This man called Dean Collins learned it. He turned it into the Hollywood Lindy. American troops learned it, took it worldwide. Life started featuring it. This is 1943. And it went mad. However, wartime, it died down. This is now today. Jazz clubs, they had licensing issues. They started bringing in tables and chairs, and they had bebop and cool jazz, and it all just kind of died. But clearly it was kept alive by somebody, because this must be the 60s, 70s. I mean, look at it. The flares are huge. Maybe you can't see. This flare, it's that big. It's absolutely massive. And what happened in the mid-80s, we actually had a funny resurgence where lots of different groups around the world, they went to New York looking for these old-timers, the people who are in Whitey's or in the Savoy Ballroom, and tried to learn from them. So, for example, New York, California, Stockholm, UK, all of them, mid-80s, they went to New York and tried to learn. And this is the Herräng dance camp in Sweden. And this started with 25 people in 1982, which then exploded into 100 people in 1983 gathered. By the time Gap was swinging khakis, which is the previous slide, they were hosting more than several hundred people annually and 1,200 people by the time we got to 2007. Okay, so what's the big deal? These are happy feet. They're dancing a social dance. There aren't any rules. It steals from all kinds of other dance styles, like this looks a bit tango if you could see it clearer. And it's just wonderful. And you don't actually have to have a dance partner because it's so social. Like the swinger namesake, I've never had one solid partner dancing. All sorts of different things. And we do have competitions, but it's not like a dance sport. What you can't see is there's a guy upside down here next to this woman. And he's just showing off. It's all just, it's flair. The competitions win because they're doing something new and exciting. And the social nature means that people actually travel the world to meet each other in different cities, to dance outside, or, you know, and they all, oh, excuse me, rest. Quantum mechanics. So we can dance in fields or cities or kitchen floors, but I've got to be clear, even, oh, you're 30 seconds early. Okay, fine, but these two old-timers here, they were dancing well into their 80s and 90s, and I was going to tell you how good it was.